We talked so much about Zach Wilson last week. Robert Saleh pushed that button on Mike White. He's earned the right to start for a while, don't you think? I mean, even if they go to Minnesota and lose that game and struggle on offense, he's shown it. He's shown how it can work.
I think it's a hot hand offense now. I think Saleh is just – I totally support what he did. Listen, this is not the end of Zach Wilson. I think he's being honest when he says, like, this kid's got a lot of talent. I think everybody knows that. He's played awful, and I don't think people's leashes should be, exponentially longer because you are a draft pick, but that's the reality of the situation. And I think now it's a hot hand type of thing. I think it's, hey, if Mike White's playing well, you keep Mike White in. If Mike White has a bad game, okay. If he has 2 bad games in a row, maybe it's Flacco. Maybe it's Zach Wilson. You have kind of burnt the ships on conventional, like, this is our quarterback going in the playoffs. This is a team in a really unique position. To be this stacked defensively, although, Getsy, when Simeon was on script yesterday, it was terrifying. The first 15 plays of the game.
Yeah.
It was scary as hell, wasn't it, Rich? I mean, like...
Well, yeah, the Jets' defense was on its heels, and I thought like it was going to be one of those days. But with the rain coming down, certainly when Greg Zuerlein was trying a game-tying field goal and the ball can't even be placed in front of him, and then it's dipsy-do, and, it was like NFL Films Follies broke out. I'm like, oh, it's one of those days. But Mike White was terrific. He was on time. He was on schedule, and he was terrific. He was exactly what they want in this offense. And Elijah Moore, we saw proof of life. Like there was, it existed. And that's why I sat there and thought, well, hopefully Zach Wilson is sitting there taking mental notes if he is, in fact, going to be the guy again. Because if Mike White plays like this, Zach Wilson's not the guy again. It's that simple.
And when I say Zach Wilson's career is not over, I don't know that it's going to be here. He's going to get another shot or anything. But I really do think this team, I saw some people saying, oh, you're not helping Zach Wilson's development. Like, people can't come back from that. Well, hey, dude, all right, like when I was a second-year player, I got benched. Okay, I was a high draft pick, got benched. Bench for a defensive end is different, though, because you just basically don't run out of the tunnel, and we're still taking 40, 50 snaps a game in a rotation. But the bottom line is, like, I was able to kind of figure it out and, the next 4 years turn my career around. This kid can do that. Like, it's not impossible. But for this football team right now, his mental struggles are irrelevant, right? And I also thought he did a really good job. I kind of killed him last week, right? Because it pissed me off as a defensive player. But, he got up there, he stood tall during the week. It's not like, it's an irredeemable mistake, but what it is a mistake coupled with the play on the field, because that's the bottom line. It's like when you look at the numbers, he's been really bad. That hinders this team's chances of making a run, and they're really good. They're really good in a lot of areas, and you don't waste windows, man. Like, I don't care if the window just opened or if you're on the tail end of it. You owe it to the other players to play the best quarterback, and that includes Joe Flacco if it's Joe Flacco. So I think Robert Saleh did the right thing in going to somebody else, and Mike White carved up the Bears. That's great. Let's not get out over our skis. Like, if this happens for a couple weeks, he's your guy. But I don't think it's solidified that, like, hey, it's going to be Mike White every game this year. I do think they have an open mind.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.